Hello everybody, my name is Gina and I'm one of the owners of 22 Farms Animal Sanctuary. We wanted to thank you for volunteering or filling out an application to volunteer. We wouldn't be able to do what we do without all you guys, so your interest is much appreciated and we can't wait to meet you. We thought we would do this orientation session via video so we can get more people through quicker without having to rely on my time to get something scheduled. So we'll take a look here. I'll flip the camera around and we'll show you what you can expect when you first pull in, and we'll walk through all of the opportunities and the things that we have usually to do on a daily basis. So as you pull into the driveway, a couple of things that you'll see is our main barn along with our milk house, which is right there is one of the primary buildings you'll go into. But we first wanted to show you when you pull in where to park. So we kind of have these couple of spaces over here designated as our parking spots. We do ask that you do not park in front of the 3 garage doors. That is where we run our rental business, and so we need those in order to have people come and go, as well as Chris with his trailers. So again, parking right in this area where this car is parked. And then if there aren't any spots available, you can go ahead and pull back into the grass behind the trailers, and you can certainly park back there. But this is generally where you're going to want to get started, is in the milk house, because this is where we keep our chore board. So let's go take a look. All right, once you are in the milk house, this is the board that you're going to look at in order to see what you need to do for the day. We have it by days of the week, and then chores. So you can see watering is at the top, and that's kind of an everyday chore. And then sweeping the walkway in the barn, we'll talk about that. We ask kind of the horses' stalls get mucked out a couple of times a week. Washing pig buckets, we'll take a look at that. If you're ever here at 10 a.m., that's typically when we want to let the horses and the donkeys out, and we can show you also how we accomplish that task. And then for the week, I generally have a list of things that you can do that aren't specific to a certain day. So if the things that are specific to that day have already been done, you can always look backwards in case there's something that still hasn't been done from previously, or you can always look at the this week task. In the milking shed is where we keep one of our main water sources and our sink, and there are almost always dishes, surprisingly not, in the sink. If you do see some dishes in there, it's awesome if you can help wash those out. They don't certainly need to be clean to a level of which you and I would eat off of, but at least get some of the muck out of them. And then once the dishes are washed, they actually come over here to the shelves, and you can just put them back on the shelves, and the buckets go on the bottom, and then we'll have clean dishes the next time we need them. So just to the right of the volunteer board is the door into the main barn. I also have a little map of all of the watering stations. So anywhere there's a blue mark, you can see that's where, this one needs to be updated, that's where when we ask that you water, those are the places that you would look for the watering bins. But if we go into the barn, and it is in need of lots of attention at the moment, a couple of things we'll point out is that the shovels and the rakes and everything we need to clean out the pens, the brooms are all over to the wall on the right hand side. If you happen to be doing anything with our horses for the day, our horse halters and lead ropes are right there in the corner as well. And then turning around to that corner is where the water hose is. So if you're ever helping with the water, that's the spigot to turn the water on and off, and then the hose does reach all the way down to the furthest waterer. So as we talk about the walkway and sweeping out the walkway, this is what we're referring to. It's the space in between the stalls. Again, none of the chores have been done today, so it's a pretty good view as to what you might see if you're the first one here in the morning. All of the waterers are in the stalls, and in the case of this one, we do have a pool cleaner that we use. If there's ever hay or straw in the waters, we'll ask that you just use the pool cleaner to clean that out. If the waters need to be replaced, you can go ahead and either dump them outside or in the sink that we saw in the milk shed. and fill them back up again. Otherwise, if they're clean but they just need additional water, you can use the hose to do that. We ask sometimes to take a look at the feeders, make sure there's no bird poop or other things in the feeders. You can use a paper towel to help clean those out if you do see anything in there. The horse stalls were actually just done last night, thank you to some volunteers. But when we talk about mucking the horse stalls, really what we're looking for is to just clean up the poop. And we do that every other day to make sure that the horses aren't laying in the poop. And then if I talk about cleaning the stall completely, that's when we pull everything out of the stall, like we've just done over here, and get it down to the bare bottom so that we can fill it back up again. When we fill it up, we use a combination, as you can see here, of wood chips, which help absorb some of the moisture, and some straw bedding for them to lay on. Those two things can usually be found. We keep them generally over here, again, by the front of the door. And you can see right now we've got some on a cart, and the wood chips are usually in a bag. So you would just use one bag and, I don't know, 4 or so flakes of hay to fill the stalls back up again on days when we clean them completely out. On the opposite side is where we have our goats and our sheep. Because their poop is smaller and not as easily squishable, their stalls actually just get cleaned 1 to 2 times a week, depending on the weather. And so sometimes you'll see on there clean out the stalls for the goats and the sheep, and that is on the right side as you enter into the barn. Again, we have all of our shovels and rakes by the front of the door. In this case, that is the great little scooper. If you're just doing the poop or mucking the horse stalls, that is the best one for that. And then we have wheelbarrows, a couple wheelbarrows that are usually around. So you would just use the scooper to put the poop in the wheelbarrow. And then you'll take the wheelbarrow down and we'll put it out in the pasture where we can come and grab it with the skid steer. So the building we're in right now is called the Extension. Depending on when you start your volunteer time, this may or may not be here. We're in the process of taking it down. We're a little concerned about the safety. Hi, Daryl. Hi, Patrick. So again, this building might be down, so we might need a different place for the manure. Hi, buddy. But generally, for right now, you can see we just keep the manure kind of right out here. So when you come out of the barn, you'll see usually a pile. Hi, Patrick. And that's where we keep it, so that then Chris again can come by with the skid steer and he'll move it for us. Again, according to the map, there are some waterers out here so that when the horses are outside, they have access to water. All right, so we're back at the front of the property again. And if you had just come out of the barn, you might come out through that milking shed door, or possibly the hay room door back there in that corner. And if you head down this way, this is the way to the chicken coop. So we'll head over there and look at some of the things that need to be done in the chicken coop. All right, entering into the chicken coop door. The biggest things, again in the summer especially, is a few things, making sure that the chickens have water, which they do. The top just comes off on this water, so you can use the hose that is right outside this door. Usually it's on the ground. Unfortunately, if it's ever not on, make sure that the nozzle for the hose is turned straight like that, down with the hose, so that means it's on. And the handle is pushed all the way up. Sometimes you have to give it an extra tug. But you can use the hose to fill that waterer. We also have a duck waterer out here, and you can see we had a little accident that we're going to work on. But the duck waterer also can be filled, as well as the pool. So this pool was just cleaned last night. They get in and they make it dirty pretty quick. So we just ask that if you see one of the pools or some of the pools either empty or dirty, just go ahead and dump them out. And then you can use the hose to fill them back up again. The ducks and the geese certainly appreciate that. And as we head back into the coop, one of the things the kids love to do is look for eggs in the nesting boxes. So if you see an egg, either in this nesting box or this one, somebody must have laid an egg or is waiting to get in and lay one. Good job, girlfriend. You can bring it over to this little room. And we have egg cartons that you can put the eggs in that you find. So those are the ones from earlier yesterday, waiting for new ones to come. If you ever come in and the bird feeders are empty right now, there's still a little bit in there, you're welcome to use the feeder in here, the scoop, and use that to help fill them up. We usually do about two scoops or so. Any more than that, sometimes it spills and then it gets wasted. So, but if they are empty, you are welcome to come in here. You may see on my to-do list sometimes to come out and clean the coop. Again, it's been pretty clean, and in the summer we don't keep a lot of straw down. But if you ever need to clean the coop, here's the items to help clean the coop with. And again, just sweep it up, put down some more straw, and when you're done with the wheelbarrow, we dump it for the coop. Very similar to what we do for the inside of the barn. We dump it over here, and then again, Chris can come with the skid steer and pick it up. So that's the coop. And then as you're leaving the coop, we have a very important family member, Waylon the pig, who is not with the other pigs by his choice. And if you come in through this gate, and again, these gates are a little tricky. If you push this down, that's how you get into this gate, and then just pull the gate forward. And there's Blue sitting in the sun. It's a little warm, not sure why he's doing that. But Waylon, our pig, oh, and here's a couple of our ducks, also has a waterer in here. So we want to make sure that we don't forget about poor Waylon. As much as we can, I try and keep his bedding in a big pile for him to sleep on. Hi, buddy. So if you're ever in here and you see it's like this, feel free to grab a broom and just sweep it all up closer to him so he has a little bit thicker of a bed. And you'll notice that this actually leads back up into the barn. So certainly if you're in the barn, you can come down this way to get to Waylon as well. Hi, Adele. All right, we're back again at the front of the barn. I did want to point out one more thing. Over in this corner here, we have our dumpster. So if we ever ask for the garbages to be taken out, that's where you take them out to. And then in this room or this space over here, there is a sign coming to help identify it, but this is where our bunnies are. So if we come through this door, this is the bunny room. We have a lot of volunteers who want to seem to help with this room, understandably so. It's in the air conditioning. You're with the cutest little bunnies. There are the tools for the bunny room. If you ever come and clean, they made a mess of the couch or the chair last night, so that's an example of something that would need to be picked up. But there are their cleaning supplies. And then in progress right now, we're working on creating a little bit of a room for gift, like a gift shop area. So if you're ever in here and you notice the floor is dirty, certainly would love to have it swept or even just wipe down the counters, or if things are out of place. The gift shop room could always use some attention as well. All right, exiting out of the bunny room / gift shop, we'll head down to the far barns. We have two far barns. To the right there is the pig barn, and to the left there is the goat and cow barn. So we'll head down there and take a look at what we can do for chores down there. All right, so we're down a little closer. I'm just pointing out that the hose that we use to do the watering is usually out in this field. So if we ever ask you to water, which is a part of the daily chores, you would grab the hose. And again, it does reach all the way down to the pig barn. And in addition to actually putting water in their water buckets, we do also provide them with mud. You can see Pint here is in the mud pit with no water at the moment, but still very happy. So if we were ever out here watering and you notice the pigs do not have any fresh mud, we can use the hose to fill up their mud pits. They're very appreciative of that. And then as we head in, right now we have an abundance of hay and straw. So it's a little bit of a maze to get in to the pig area. Kind of makes it fun when you come around the corner. Here are their waters. So again, use the hose we saw outside. And then the other action or activity that we ask once a week is that the buckets that we use to put their fresh produce in, that we wash these out. And again, we're not talking scrub down to a level of which we would eat, but just make sure that the food from this week is out so that on Fridays when we put new food in, they've been washed out. So that is the wash the pig buckets task on the board. All right, so we'll leave the pig area and we'll head over to the cows and the goats. So entering into this building is where our big goats are. Again, their waterers are over here. You are certainly welcome to go in. They are very friendly. You can go in, throw the hose over the top of the fence and put water in for them. Or you can certainly water through the fence if you're not as comfortable going in with the big goats. They are a little intimidating until you get to know them, but again, very, very friendly. So these are the big goats. And then as we turn is where our cows are. And our cows are not super social. So even though they have a water in the corner, we generally don't have our volunteers help with that water. Just a safety precaution. So when we come out to this barn, it's really only the goats that you would be helping water. Again, here's an example of a trash can. We may say, go grab the trash can and throw it in the dumpster for us and bring it back out. But that is the goat barn. All right, that is the quick overview. Again, shows you kind of high level some of the things that we have people do on a daily basis. If I'm ever not around, I'm doing a tour or have something else going on, again, the chore board is what you're really going to want to watch for. And then certainly if you see stuff around that needs to be done that's not on the chore board, feel free to go ahead and get working on that. So it's much appreciated. So after you watch this video, send me an email and I will make sure that I get you a link to our online registration or sign up site, and you can go and pick whatever times work for you to come and sign up. I'm getting ready to extend the hours, so we'll offer more hours for people, but you just go online, sign up. That way I know that you're coming, and especially if it's your first volunteer session, I'll keep an eye out for that, and hopefully I can be around to help you through. But once again, we're super appreciative of your interest in helping volunteer, and we look forward to seeing you at your first session. Thank you.